this journey to really discover what is underneath doubt, it can take us into the history of our relationship to our spirituality, our connection to God, our connection to the mystical and the magical. So if you had ancestors, for example, that were very religious, they may have gotten very strong messaging from their religion that said, oh, that magical, mystical stuff, no, that's not real, or that's darkness, right? And they could actually, on a very genetic level, have instilled a lot of fear around mysticism and magic. And so how that gets passed down through the generations is actually through a doubting. So we carry this aversion, we carry this fear of it simply because our religion didn't want it to have more power than the religion, right? They didn't want these other practices to have more power. So one aspect of doubt is actually us looking at our ancestors and their relationship to miracle, their relationship to magic. Now, on the other side of that, religion has a lot to say about God. Okay, so just want you to think of your parents or your parents' parents or your parents' parents. What religion did they practice? I know for me, growing up, reading the Torah stories or being told them, God was presented as a being with a clear agenda, okay? And if you weren't somehow meeting or matching that agenda, you were judged, you were punished, right? You weren't good enough. Oh, I love this. You guys are sharing. So go ahead, pop it in the chats. What is your ancestors' religion? And just think of the stories. How was God portrayed? Okay. So if God was a punishing God, if God cast judgment, right, then we actually start to rationalize the bad things in our life. Oh, the bad thing in my life comes because of God, right? The bad thing came because I'm being punished by God. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it's the bad thing came in my life to test my faith, right? Yeah. So we actually start to get these really interesting beliefs about God. And when God is presented in this way of being a punishing God, being a critical God, we start to not only manifest more hardship in our life because we have these beliefs about God and we're supposed to be tested by God and God punishes us for whatever reason God is supposed to punish us, but we start to also manifest more hardship in our life. And through this hardship, we can, of course, start to have experiences of doubt because it was God who made this hardship happen. Now, of course, even before religion, we have this relationship with God that if it didn't rain, if there was a famine, it was because of God. We place so much blame on the events of our life on God. And we can carry it almost like a resentment. It's like this deeper resentment of the hardship that we have faced creates this internal doubt. Well, if there really was a God, this wouldn't have happened. And so this is where we need to start grinding out, really digging deep and feeling, what is my relationship with Source, right? Is it that my religion made it something to be fearful of, magic, miracles, right? Is it that my ancestors went through a lot of hardship and felt abandoned by God? Is it that they carry all these beliefs about God, that God's supposed to punish them, which just brought a lot of harshness into their own lives and really made it feel like a disconnection from God, that God wasn't there for them, and that God didn't love them? This starts to get filtered down through generation to generation to generation to be a doubt in the Creator.